Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Targeted Individual Program. So, I haven't done a video in a while because I've been pretty busy, but the psychological attacks have been, I guess, upgraded, I would say, or they've become more intense. That's the right word. They've become more intense. And the reason being is because they are trying to prevent me from going on disability. Okay, I have received numerous threats, and again, they usually use the authorities, which is in my case the NYPD, to harass and psychologically threaten me with incarceration and even death. Yes, death. Can you believe that? But, that is what they do. That is the psychological programming. And what they've also done is use a particular family member, my sister, to pass along these threats. Okay? And this is what they do. If you study COINTELPRO tactics, if you study the tactics used by the CIA and FBI, you're talking about blacklisting. You're talking about going to the family members of the targets and threatening them with incarceration, even murder. Okay, they've done this before, and it's continued to be done today. Now it's more psychological, more covert. Okay, and the use of psychiatry is a main ingredient in trying to discredit the individuals, who, such as me, who we call ourselves targeted individual, okay, in an attempt to cover the secretive experimentation on the target with the use of these classified technologies such as silent sound, directed energy weapons, in which they can target your organs, they can target your mind using certain frequency, as we all know. Anything that resonates any kind of frequency in the body and the mind, they have technology in which they can affect those bodily functions. Okay, so to give you an example, as you know, I do a call every Wednesday on talkshoe.com. For those of you who are going to watch my video, if you go to talkshoe.com, if you do a search on call ID, which is 81062, you will find a host of recordings that I have done. And I do a show every Tuesday at 11 p.m. And they have been trying to prevent me from doing these shows because of the exposure that I am doing about this program, okay, as well as others who are in the community who have also have web talk shows about what they're experiencing and what is being done to them. Now, there's no doubt in my mind this is being perpetrated by the U.S. government up to the highest level. Okay, that's what I believe. And it is carried out through the psychological aspect is carried out through the police departments, through the churches. There are and what really bothers me is that you have religious people who are participating in destroying an individual life. Okay, now you call yourself a good Christian or a good Muslim or good whatever religion you believe in. Okay, but yet you participate in the psychological damage and destruction of a human being, and you said that you have morals. Well, what does that tell you about yourself? There are people, especially religious people, who says, okay, God gave them a mind and no one can manipulate them. Well, they're saying that right now, and yet they're being manipulated. Okay, when someone comes to you and asks you to aid in the destruction of someone, even if they tell you they're trying to help the individual, but if you see what it is that you're doing is actually destroying the individual's life, why continue? Why don't you ask the question? Okay, what is it that I'm doing? Why am I participating in the destruction of an individual? Clearly, that individual is not being helped, as whoever come to you and may claim that is what they're doing, or that is the purpose of this program. I'll tell you what the purpose of this program is. The purpose of this program is to target an individual for destruction, okay, or to target an individual for experimentation, and they're using you, okay, to carry out part of that program. They are using you because of your religion. Because religious people, and this is a fact, are easily manipulated. Okay, you can look throughout history. All right, it is a proven fact that religious people are easily to be manipulated. You look at in the United States in the early years, there were people who were called witches and were burned to the stake by so-called Christians. Okay, so again, and I can go on and on in different religious culture in which this has happened to. So this is nothing new. And to the targeted individual who's watching this, know that this program is strictly about experimenting on you with directed energy weapons, with mind control weapons, and mind control technology. Okay? And for the religious people is that they have to give you a reason to make you do what you're doing. They have to come up with a legitimate reason to discredit the individual, so that when they come out and speak about what is being done to them, when they come out and talk about the torture of the use of the directed energy weapons, the use of the mind control technology, being microwave in your own home, okay, and outside in society, okay, they make you sound like you're crazy. Okay? Those of you who don't believe in microwave technology, I suggest you do your research. The U.S. Embassy in the mid to late 70s, okay, what the U.S. government found that the Russian government was microwaving the U.S. Embassy in Russia, okay, and the symptoms that came about from the people who worked in that embassy is the same kind of symptoms that we as targeted individuals are talking about, except the weapons have gotten better, they have gotten more covert. They can now program your mind with the use of what is called silent sound technology. They can make you hear voices with the technology that is called voice to skull. And you will find that some of these technologies have been slowly being implemented in society. Okay? You now have headphones that basically use your bone to transmit sound into your mind, into your head. Okay? And if you don't believe that, it is a fact. You can do the research and you can find the headphones that will do that. Okay? The use of electromagnetic frequencies, radio waves, they have been able to basically tune in to the frequency of the brain, the frequency of the body, certain functions of the body that they can affect. Okay? I'll give you an example, which is I had a call and a lady came on my call. First time she came on, and usually I'm very skeptical of people who come on my call the first time because I like to ask them a series of questions. But I never really got to ask her, the series of questions that I would normally ask. And so I allowed her to speak, and so she was talking about how they were targeting her body functions, and she defecated on herself. She couldn't control it. Okay. And the next day, right, when I woke up, after doing my shirt, the next day when I woke up, I had to use the bathroom because I had diarrhea. Now, some of you may look at that and say, okay, it's a coincidence. But trust me, it is not. When you're a targeted individual and people come on your call or people tell you something that's happening to them, the very next day, the same thing will be happening to you, okay? And what that is that is your perpetrator using that particular individual, or that individual themselves could be a perpetrator, or perp, as we would like to call them, to send them on a call that you're on, if you're the host that you're doing, to let you know that this is what's going to be done to you the next day or the day after. And you may not think about it at first until it happens. Then when it happens, you remember the event in which that particular individual was talking about, and now the same thing is happening to you. So that is a tactic that they use. And, they could use it to, let's say, isolate TIs from coming on the call, or even isolate the host from, try to stop them from doing their show if people are going to come on and talk about certain things, and then those same things are going to be done to the host of the show. So again, they do this because they want to silence us. They don't want us to talk about what is going on. They're using the psychiatric field or industry to silence us, okay? And so therefore they can get away with it because, like I said, once you are diagnosed with a mental illness, you are discredited, okay? And if you attempt to get any kind of help, they will try to send you threats about going to see someone to explain or talk about what it is that's being done to you. And if it gets to the point where they basically blacklist you from working, from finding employment, from if you have your own business, they will destroy that business, your relationship they will destroy. And once you get that diagnosis, and if you try to apply for any kind of disability based on your diagnosis, they will threaten to kill you, they will threaten to arrest you, just a whole bunch of stuff. That's what, they're doing. And, that's just my experience, This is what's happening right now. Like I said, as I am applying for disability, here they go again with the threats, with the use of the police to try to harass me, to make me think and feel like they're going to come and arrest me for whatever reason. And, look, I've been going through this for 10 years. They've been using these weapons on me. It has affected my life. It has basically destroyed my relationships with my friends. It has gotten to the point where when I explained what was happening to me at my job, they brought in a psychiatrist, and I told them that I was being job mobbed, and no one listens to me. Okay, if you look up job mobbing in Europe, they had similar problems with job mobbing, and they passed laws against that type of harassment. Okay, which is strictly psychological. Okay, so if Europe can pass, if those countries, a lot of countries in Europe can pass laws on job mobbing, why can't they do this in the United States? And I'll tell you why. Because most of the politicians, most of the religious-based community, they participate and they basically accept these things as being part of their norm, okay? Because, we know religious people. If you don't believe what they believe, they will either try to convert you, and if they can't convert you, they will isolate you, they will ostracize you, they will even destroy your life to get you to move out of their community and go someplace else. And that's just how religious people are. And, when they talk about, I'm a good Christian, well, think again. You're not a good Christian. You're the worst of the worst.